So if you don't get anything, get this. Like chaos, but calling it chemistry, girl, I just don't know what it is. I just feel the sparks and stuff. I just feel all tingly inside. Girl, run. Not always physical. When people hear abandonment, they think someone had to leave or left them. Welcome back to But Did You Die? Chaos, lessons, and laughs. This is the space where survival gets integrated, healing gets prioritized, and we start romancing pain as purpose. I'm your host, Monique R. Darnell, also known as Dr. Survivalist, your internet therapist in a pink coat. No couch required. And baby, season 2, we're not skimming the surface anymore. Today's episode is called It Runs in the Family, but It Ends with Me. Because if we're honest, a lot of what we call personality, strength, or even anointing is actually unresolved trauma that learn how to perform. Yes, I'm coming for you. Okay, I told y'all I'm coming for you, right? My CEO, my coach, yes. And I want to say this clearly, clinically, and compassionately. Just because something is normalized in your family does not mean it is healthy. Okay? Just because it's familiar does not mean it's safe. And let's talk about what was inherited and why you are the interruption. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and start with some very important things. So because many of us are trying to fix behaviors that didn't start with us, I'm coming for you. They started in homes where love existed, but safety didn't always exist. All right. Where care was present, but consistency wasn't. All right. That messes with your nervous system. We'll talk about that later. Yes. Where our parents loved us deeply from inside their own survival wounds. Now, like I said, we're not here to blame. We're not here to shame. We're not here to do any of those things. We're just really here to call those things out. And kind of like offer you a better, soft and safe landing. Like we deserve that. Let's talk about what that does to a child. So most of us didn't grow up with parents who sat us down and taught us emotional wisdom. Let's be honest. I don't even think my big mama and them even knew what emotion was. My grandma emotions. Girl, you don't go on somewhere. That's how I felt like they were doing. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt. Well, no emotions. But they did teach us through their silence, their fears, their reactions, and their relationships, who they chose to date, why they date them, and why they was with them so long. They taught us how to handle rejection to protect us and masked in reality. They taught us what love should cost. They taught us whether or not it was safe or need to feel or any of those things. So they taught us things, but I really don't blame them. They were doing the best that they could and with what they had. And many of us, especially as strong Black women raised in survival heavy homes, we learn to overcompensate. So In season 2, we're going to talk a lot. We're going to write a lot. We're going to be therapeutic, therapize some things. That's what we're going to do. So in this, we're going to talk a little bit about it runs in the family, but it ends with me. So write down one thing you learned from your parents' behavior that you now carry in your adult relationships, especially in how you give, how you love, or cope. Now, something that's going to be new in season 2, we're going to have a theme for this, for episodes. We're going to have therapeutic focus. We're going to have cultural insight, core messaging, and soul questions. So if you don't get anything, get this. So the theme for this episode, breaking generational cycles by shifting from inherited survival patterns to consciously chosen safety. You get to choose. Yes, you get to choose. Yes. I feel like the 1980s, when they had their hair like this and it was like a mullet, it was pulled back. I don't know. I feel like I'm giving Prince. Purple rain. I feel like I'm giving Prince right now with this pink coat and my, but did you die and stuff like that. Yes, I made it because I'm like that. Yeah. Intergenerational trauma, attachment wounds, and nervous systems conditioning. How emotional patterns are passed down through behavior, silence, and survival, and how intentional healing interrupts that transmission. So you don't have to repeat what your grandmother and your great grandmother did and how they did and who they dated. And, you don't have to repeat those patterns. But I think oftentimes we're not really aware that we're repeating generational cycles and patterns, trauma. In many cultural insight, in many Black families, strength was required before softness. Emotional needs were often minimized, in favor of resilience, faith, and functionality. So survival became a cultural language, one that kept families alive, but often emotionally disconnected. So I know we did what we had to do. I know this sounds like, oh my God, all this therapy stuff, I don't need this. Or it sounded like blah, 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 blah. Or it's sounding like, okay, what do I do with all this? I can't change any of that. I can't do anything. Today is awareness. Tomorrow's change. So, what we call just how we are is frequently unresolved trauma, wearing traditions. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to remove that, chop that up, break that down, and get you to see. This may not be you. You picking the same person you dating may not be you. You stand in the same area, doing the same thing, unable to get out of toxic patterns may not be you. May have been some things that were taught to you on how to cope. All right. And now it's looking like, oh, tradition. This is how we always been. And we don't, take that coat off. So core message is you're not broken. You were trained by survival. What you inherited is not your fault, but healing, it is your responsibility. Right? We 40. And those who are not 40, okay. Those who are older, okay. Those who are younger, okay. But I'm 40. And I'm not going back and forth with you guys about some things. I'm not doing it. Okay. All right. And so you are not broken. You were trained by survival. You inherited these things. It's your responsibility. Breaking cycles doesn't require rebellion. Doesn't require you to be just stuck up, just hard to, I'm working on my healing, new year, new me. No, it don't require that. Or for you to disappear. Because some of you guys don't know how to set boundaries with yourself and with others. And it causes you to avoid conflict, trouble with that. So yeah, you don't have to do those things, right? It just requires awareness. We're working on that today. Awareness. It may have started with your family, but let's make it end with you. All right. It requires awareness, compassion, and new emotional laws. You're gonna have to regulate these emotions. You're gonna have to break some things. You're gonna have to reset, change the default method, all those things. We're going to work on it. Yes. All right. You are not here to carry what exhausted your bloodline. You are here to transform it. And I give you permission. Okay. I give you permission to be free. I give you permission because some of y'all strong Black women feel like we can't do it unless somebody tell us to. I'm telling you. And I said what I said. You don't have to do that. You don't have to carry this. You don't have to do that. You are here to transform it. So the sole question for the day is, what am I still normalizing simply because it feels familiar, even though it no longer feels safe? Like in this journey of healing, you're going to find that the things that used to satisfy you don't really do it for you no more. It's just a waste of time, waste of money, waste of energy. Like all this healing, all this working on myself, all this love. But, it's just, what do I do now? So that's what we're working on. So first thing first, generational trauma without the spiritual bypass. In therapy, we call it intergenerational trauma. Intergenerational trauma. In Black families, we just call it, that's how we are. They always been like that. She always been like that. She ain't gonna never change. And that's why the first generation of the children of Israel died in the wilderness. They ain't want to change. Emotional avoidance, explosive anger, hyper independence. Check off whichever is you. Choosing partners who feel like chaos, but calling it chemistry. Girl, I just don't know what it is. I just feel the sparks and stuff. I just feel all tingly inside. Girl, run. How old are you? Run, girl. All right. Calling children strong when they are actually overwhelmed. Trauma doesn't only pass down through abuse, it passes down through silence. So that dad who was there but never said anything, never gave any advice, was just really there, wasn't present, didn't really say much. The mama who didn't stand up for you when things were going on. Yeah, silence. Though through what was never named, stuff that we never called out. Letting your brothers and sisters, say stuff and that's how they are, and aunties and them talk like that. That's how, no, call that stuff out. Hey, chill out with that stuff. Like, chill out, the best way we can through what was endured instead of healed. So we endured a lot. We already know. If you hear, you checked in, you hear, you have already endured a lot. Living in today, we have all endured a lot. Many of us were raised by women who survived. Nothing wrong, not knocking them. They did what they had to do to get what. Okay, yeah, but do I still have to be in survival mode? Now, there are times you gotta check in. You gotta do what you gotta do. Check in. But do I have to be checked in at all times, all the time, every time when my nervous system is a wreck? I can't focus or be present. I'm always hustle. Next, another one in the bag, another one. Okay. And another one. Come on, tell me. What do you think? So, many of us were worried, like I said, raised by women who survived, but never processed. Men who provided, but were emotionally absent. Faith systems that taught obedience, not emotional literacy. No, they did. No, something like that. So now here you are. Here you are, high functioning, can do all this stuff, self-aware, spiritually inclined, and still asking yourself, why do I feel exhausted even when things are going well? I'm here, I'm there, I'm present, I'm cooking, I'm putting the kids to bed, I'm showing up, I'm in my Pilates class, but yet you have not checked in with yourself. You're really not even present. You're just floating, disassociating. That's what you're doing. All right. So because your nervous system was trained for threat, not peace, you're always on the go. Right. So we're going to start some things that are going to be a little bit different, but the same. Right. So we're going to do a therapeutic pause. We're going to do a nervous system check-in. So before we go any further, let's regulate for a moment, because what I said probably was a lot to chew on and was hard to deal with. So I want you to take a slow breath in through your nose. Hold it for 3 seconds. Exhale through your mouth. Ask yourself, not judgmentally, just curiously, what did my family teach me about emotions? I'm sorry, that's probably a little judgmental. What did my family teach me about emotions? Did they? Were feelings welcome or managed? Y'all probably don't know what this is. This is me having a moment, whenever I say something that's T or yes. In Bible study, I kind of like shake my head and make my hair shout, But, you're not a Bible study with me. Soon. All right. So, were needs met or minimized? Minimized. I can't say that word right now. Minimize. Yes. Well, I'm trying to put in. That awareness alone, that's already cycle breaking. Being aware, was I allowed to feel in my family, or was it do as I say? It was probably do as I say. Now, let's talk a little bit about abandonment. And I know everybody had a little thing with abandonment, rejection, narcissist, borderline, all of those different things. And so I want to really talk about abandonment today, because it's not always physical. When people hear abandonment, they think someone had to leave or left them. But abandonment also happens when your feelings weren't responded to. That's emotional abandonment. So your needs were minimized. You were told to be strong instead of supported. Pull it together, but did you die? You had to emotionally self-parent. And from that point on, you have been doing that all on your own. And so now many of us who are 40 are raising children who have boundaries, who know how to communicate and advocate for themselves. And we look at them like we're so proud of them. But baby, we can't do it. Baby, try to tell your mama that, I'm not going to come to the cookout this year. I'm going to do what I need to do. Me and my family you can't even get all the words out to say it. You can't even do it. Can't do it. All right. So that creates an internal wound that says, I'm on my own. Needing people is risky. If I don't perform, I'll be forgotten. So now as adults, abandonment wounds show up as staying too long in unhealthy relationships, panicking at a distance or silence. So whenever somebody, I need to take a break, or you that's that anxious avoidant, anxious attachment. Those things, you start to feel like your foundation, you need to do more and perform more. It gets a little scary. Tolerating inconsistency just to avoid being alone. Tying identity to usefulness. Check whatever applies to you. And I'm not saying this all you, because this was me. This is my baby. But did you die? It's my life. My struggles, the things that I overcome and overcame. And here I am helping you. And many of us confuse familiar abandonment with love because it feels like home. So pause here and reflect. Where do I stay emotionally? Even when it hurts, because leaving feels worse. It feels like the air is gone and taken from me. I can't breathe. If I don't have them, if they're not happy, if I can't, I gotta have my mom in my life. I gotta have my dad in my life. I gotta have this person in my life. If I don't, I can't, I need them. So in this week's healing homework, I'm going to invite you to go deep with 3 core questions. So I want you to write these down. I hope y'all come for this. Did you come for the chair? Did you come? Did you come to do the work? Because I came to pull edges. I came to snatch out whatever. Yeah, I'll figure it out later. What are 3 things your parents did or didn't do that shaped how you show up emotionally today? Where do you find yourself overcompensating or doing the opposite in response? What are your coping mechanisms, and are they still serving you or sabotaging you? Whew. Give yourself permission to be honest. You're not dishonoring your parents by healing your patterns. You're breaking cycles gently but boldly. And they don't even have to know. Like, you don't really have to go back and you didn't have my mind, and you ain't go to my graduation. I did not say. And when I had my baby shower, you wasn't there. You don't really have to do all that. You can, because they probably don't even know that. That's between you and your grudge and your hurt and your pain that's causing your life to be the way it is. All right. We didn't just inherit features. We inherited fears. Nature versus nurture, another therapeutic term. There's an old psychology debate between this. Nature is genetics, our inherited biological predispositions, DNA and genetic makeup. Examples like your eye color, inherited diseases, and a natural aptitude for certain talents or temperaments. This is the nature, genetics. You inherited this. Like these eyes, these are the shepherds. If you watching shepherds, if you watching Darnells, if you watching McCoveries, those are all my family. I know I got the shepherds from these hips and these thighs. Some Darnells. I think the Darnell is the nose. My eyes, I think I got from the McCoveries, my dad's side. So I think those are my dad. Like the eyes, like they go like this, a little slanted. Yeah. I think I got that from my dad's side because I don't see many of my family on my mom's side with eyes that little slant like mine, a little thin. So nurture, environment. All external influences after conception, including experiences, learning, relationship, diet, and culture. So a child's language skills from exposure, resilience from overcoming challenges, or health influenced by diet. These are all things that are in the environment, the nurture part. How you were raised, where you were raised, how you talk, what you eat, how you process stuff. These are all nurture things, your environment. So nature asks, who were you born to be? Nurture asks, who do you have to become to survive? Woo! Yeah. Come on now, baby. I don't want to mess up this mic and this hair and everything. I feel like it's holding the place just enough. Your girl kind of did herself on her birthday. All right. And here's the truth. Most of us never got told. You were born anxious. You weren't born anxious. You weren't born guarded. You weren't born emotionally independent. Like they say, certain behaviors are learned. Like a child just don't grow up, not liking this and not liking that. They were taught. You learn these things. Those were adaptations. So when children grow up in homes where parents are overwhelmed, emotionally unavailable, or stuck in survival mode, the child's nervous system adjusts. Okay? This is where I'm trying to get you guys to understand this. This is where we're going to kick it in with the therapy. We've been therapy and we're therapizing a lot, but now we're really kicking it up a little bit, turn the heat up a little bit. So you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Oh. So not consciously, automatically. So if your parents lived in chronic stress, always worried about where the next meal coming from, always worried about if they get evicted, the lights cut off, the work, this is stress. And if they were raised in that, if they were raised from their parents' parents and their parents' parents, it's inherited. And before you know it, you don't even have your own identity. You're afraid of snakes and you don't even know why. Emotional shutdown, unresolved trauma, hyper responsibility. Your body learned early, I need to stay alert. I can't rely on anyone. I need to grow up fast to take care of my younger siblings, to take care of my mom, to take care of my dad. That's not personality. I'm not the strong one because I chose to be the strong one. You're the strong one because you had to be the strong one. That's conditioning. See, in Black families, especially those rooted in faith. Now, I say this like this with love and conviction, not condemnation. We're taught strength before softness. The more you struggle, the more spiritual you are. The more you look like you going through, the more God got his hands on you. The moment you got some money or you look good or you got this going on, and soon something don't go right. Oh, that's the Lord's doing. You to this, you to that. And what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? Like, I got to go through in order to be blessed. I got to go through in order to be holy. God is holy, whether I'm good or bad. God is still holy. He's still righteous. So we inherit, you better not cry before I give you something to cry about. We inherit it, pray about it, and move on. Put it on the altar. We inherit it. You got food, a roof, and clothes. What you mad about? What you depressed about? What you sad about? Go be sad about it and do them dishes. Go be depressed and do them dishes. But what we didn't get was how to regulate our emotions. Like, hey, let's sit down and talk about that. Hey, I don't want you sitting and spewing and with all this that you got going on. And then one day, I don't see you when I come home, or, that's why the rates that are the way they are, because we're not providing a safe space for people. We need to do better. And when I say we, that's us. Us. How to speak grief without guilt. How to be soft without being labeled weak or worldly. Like you get shamed for saying, okay, I'm tired, I'm going through. So watch what you say. And then of course I'm watching what I'm saying. And however, it's not my faith walk, my faith talking. I'm also saying right now, this is how I feel. So I can also put God in it. Okay. So when I put God in it, he is stronger. So it's in him that I could be strong. In him that I can move and live and have my being. Where I'm weak, he is strong. So I can't be walking around here like I got it all the time and expect God to come in when I got it. Judge your mama for judging me. I know I made some people mad with that. And okay, say it with your chest. Put it in the comments. So we grow up emotionally compressed. We love like laborers because rest wasn't safe. We overfunction because needing someone felt dangerous. You couldn't need nobody. They could need you all day because you needed to be needed. So you could stay in their lives. So you could stay doing what you need to be doing. So you could stay important. So nobody want to abandon you. And that's not because our parents were evil. I'm not saying your parents were bad. I'm not saying whatever. We got a long history of trauma. If you look like me, we got a long history of trauma. Come on, we got a long history of trauma. So let's not do that. They're not evil. It's because they were exhausted. I don't even think my mom had any moments where she could even process. What's a process? Girl, on to the next one. I had to survive. Right? So they were surviving. They were exhausted. They were surviving. And we're the first generation trying to survive less and feel more. It is our responsibility. That's what I'm doing. I'm putting it on you. We have raised a better generation. A lot of us have raised a better generation. And I'll say this, we could raise our kids. We could be the best parents we can be. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be enough. The more you can give them everything and love and support them, and they could turn out this way and like, because you love me so much and I didn't go through. You could give them hard time, let them see and struggle and figure out on their own because you wasn't there for me and I. So at the end of the day, we can't push the blame on anybody because at the end of the day, we all have to make decisions for ourselves. You are at this point, you're 40. It's time out. We in 2026. We're not going back and forth with the same thing. I'm not going back and forth with myself. I'm not doing these things. Okay. All right. So, all right. We're going to start with some more clinical stuff. So the clinical declaration, it ends with you, right? It may have passed from grandmama, great grandmama and grandma, all this, but it ends with you. It don't go to your daughter. It doesn't go to your son. It doesn't go to your grandkids. It stops with you. And I hate to say it stops with you. Yeah, you got to do the work. You got to be a trailblazer. You got to do it. Yeah, you got to do it. It's hard. Yeah, you got to do it. But it stops with you. You know, maybe our children can stand on our backs and get up and have a better start. You know, we don't have to blame. We don't have to. It starts with you. So let's be responsible. So breaking generational cycles doesn't always look dramatic. Yeah, I put that up in there. Yeah, I did. It always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like choosing peace over proximity. Resting without explaining. Saying no without guilt. Seeking help without shame. So you are not here to be the martyr of your bloodline, all right? Trailblazer, but not the martyr. You are here to be the turning point. Say this with me, not emotionally, but intentionally. It ran in my family, but it stops in my nervous system. It stops in my relationships. It stops in how I love, rest, and receive. That's not rebellion, that's repair. It stops with me. Not another relationship with someone who is not right for me. You know they not right for you. You know they don't even match. They don't match. Quit trying to make it work. We be making stuff work. Oh, I guess I put this together because I ain't got nothing else. Who told you that? Who told you that? Yeah. Who told you that? Trauma. All right. So I also want to challenge you and, for my people who do go to therapy, who do have meetings and groups, and you want to take something to your group practice and like, oh, I heard on But Did You Die podcast with Monique, with Dr. Survivalist. And, she gave us these questions and I want to try them in our church session and I want to do them. Yes, here you go. So I invite you to do this with your family, your group or church or whatever. Now, please make sure these settings are safe. Don't be out there with my mom. You did this to me, and now I'm over here dating the same man, and over here I'm in toxic jobs and I can't leave. I don't have no courage. No. Make sure they're safe, okay? Whether you're doing this work alone with a sister or a friend or in a healing circle, here are some discussion questions to help you process. Which parental pattern shows up most in your adult life, and how do you see it in your relationships? What coping behavior have you normalized that was actually born out of pain or lack? What new emotional law are you writing for your life? One that reflects healing instead of hyper independence? Now, I know some of these questions sound a little bit similar and the same, but they're not. To the naked eye, they probably is, but to a clinical eye, it's a little tweak here, it's a tweak there, and it's oftentimes you have to be asked to the same question over and over, so that way you can get it out. Because you may be lying to yourself, you may be lying to others, you may not be in the right moment. Yeah. So all right. So let's start with some new emotional laws. Let's talk about how to write them and what they look like. So first, this season is about rewriting emotional contracts, because survival taught you rules that no longer apply. They no longer work. It's driving you nuts. You tired. You dog tired, girl. So old law, love means instability. New law, consistency is not boring. It's safe. Yes, it's safe. Old law, I have to earn care. New law, care is my birthright. I'm supposed to be cared for. Old law, if I relax, something bad will happen. New law, my body is allowed to rest without punishment. Woo! Felt that in my shop. No. Sorry. I felt that right there. I felt without punishment. We've lived a life with punishments and whippings and this, and we're afraid of everything, and not the right things. So, reflection prompt. Slow and intentional. What am I no longer willing to normalize just because it's familiar? That question alone can change your life. All right. So affirmations. This is where the shift happens. Like, we got to say these things because it's triggering our body to hear these things, to say these things means a lot. You're putting it out, you put it in the atmosphere, you're repositioning yourself, you making a decision, you're hearing yourself. So when we stop living by their survival and start creating our own safety, this is where shift happens. The shift. Okay. Breathe. I am not my mother's burden. Silence. I am not my father's absence. I am not the fixer, the forgiver, or the forgotten child. You get to become the parent your inner child always needed. You get to unlearn the stories, the lies, the truths. You get to unlearn them. You get to rest in the truth that love doesn't have to be earned. Boundaries don't mean betrayal. You are worthy simply because you exist. Now, like I said before, season 2 is not about blaming parents. Like I said earlier, we're not blaming. We're just no longer hiding. We're just no longer carrying it. We're just no longer doing that. All right. It's about understanding systems, understanding trauma, understanding attachment, understanding why love felt hard even when it was present. You are not defective. You adapted. And now you get to adapt again at 40. Say this with me. I'm allowed to heal what I didn't cause. I am learning safety, not just strength. And I'm allowed to do that. I release survival where it no longer serves me. Now, survival may be inherited, but healing is intentional. Now, if you want to take this further, if this was good, it hit you, you had to push pause, you had to write some stuff down because I was going too fast. If all that stuff was happening, guess what? I have a worksheet for you on my website, But Did You Die? Download the worksheet for episode 9. It says Healing Homework Workbook in the show notes. All right. So healing happens when awareness meets practice. Go do that worksheet. Go on the website. There's a couple of worksheets on there and it's for free. It's for free. Get that worksheet. Get that free therapy. Get that free therapy, girl. Now, until next time, be patient with your body, gentle with your past, and curious about your becoming. You're not behind. You're rebuilding correctly. Thank you for going deep with me today, because it was hard. This was hard. This work is not easy, but it's healing, right? And you're not doing it alone. Okay. Share this episode with someone still surviving what she never got the language for. She don't know. She don't know. She don't know. She just out here, but did you die? And if you're doing the work with a group, tag me. I want to witness your healing too. Show up. Give me some testimonies. I told you, I read them comments. All right. So final affirmation. I am not here to survive my childhood over and over. Girl, it's over. I'm here to heal and to choose differently. What happened to you happened to you. And I'm sorry. But today, choose differently. Choose healing. Choose to be present. Choose to live and get out of survival mode. So until next time, be gentle with you. Bye, survivalies. Beloved, there's no hiding in this thing.